Yes. No. Okay. Yes. I'm ready. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Paribrajikacharya Ashtotara Satashri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath, Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadip Dham Ki Jai, Ganga Mayi Ki Jai, Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone for Sri Caitanya Caritamrta class with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Thursday, September 12th, 2024 in New York. And last we left off, we finished the previous chapter, chapter 9. And so we're in Adi-lila, beginning chapter 10 this evening. I'm glad you could be with us, Maharaj, however briefly or however you're here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kendra.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So chapter 10 is entitled The Trunk, Branches, and Sub-Branches of the Caitanya Tree. Just need to post this in the chat so that we can keep our place for future reference. And in the brief chapter introduction, Srila Prabhupada says, this chapter describes the branches of the tree named Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Text 1. Sri Chaitanya Padam Bhoja Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha Katanchidashaya Dyeshang Shvapi Tadgandha Bhag Bhavit. Let me repeatedly offer my respectful obeisances unto the bee-like devotees who always taste the honey of the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If even a doggish non-devotee somehow takes shelter of such devotees, he enjoys the aroma of the lotus flower. Report. The example of a dog is very significant in this connection. A dog naturally does not become a devotee at any time, but still it is sometimes found that a dog of a devotee gradually becomes a devotee also. We have actually seen that a dog has no respect even for the tulsi plant. Indeed, a dog is especially inclined to pass urine on the tulsi plant. Therefore, the dog is the number one non-devotee. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtana movement is so strong that even a dog-like non-devotee can gradually become a devotee by the association of a devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Shivananda Sena, a great householder devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, attracted a dog on the street while going to Jagannath Puri. The dog began to follow him and ultimately went to seize Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and was liberated. Similarly, cats and dogs in the household of Srivas Thakur were also liberated. Cats and dogs and other animals are not expected to become devotees, but in the association of a pure devotee, they are also delivered. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakal Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prabhupada chooses a very interesting word in the verse to zero in on, the doggish non-devotee. He even goes so far as to speak about how dogs are inclined, especially inclined, to pass water on the tulsi plant. And one may consider how many persons Srila Prabhupada himself turned from a doggish way of life to a divine life, and who went on to become like philosopher's stones, turning other people into devotees of Lord Chaitanya. It is truly wonderful. I would love to hear what you have to say on this, Maharaj. I have some other thoughts, but I don't want to take up too much time.
No, I have nothing to add at the moment.
No. No, it made me think somehow of the story of Bharat Maharaj. I was just reading in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhupada is talking about the destination of the unsuccessful yogi, and how such a person, after long practice of yoga, if he's unsuccessful, he'll take birth in such and such a family and automatically become attracted to yogic principles. And it certainly seems that history has borne this out, that there have been groups of people that, from the material perspective, had very few assets, but from the spiritual perspective, became attracted to Krishna consciousness and became empowered devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So there must have been some previous spiritual life there. And similarly with the example of Bharat Maharaj, he was unsuccessful in one sense. After long practice of yoga, became attracted to a deer, then became a deer. And we don't hear that in a deer's body he would do things like deers might do, like eat tulsi plants, but he took shelter of the association of he found some yogis, some sages associated with them, and left his body thinking of Krishna again, took birth as Jad Bharat. But this whole, even a dog-like devotee can gradually become a devotee by the association of a devotee of Lord Chaitanya. And then he also says cats and dogs and other animals are not expected to become devotees. And one might think that this could lead to a whole discussion of should devotees have pets? And then, of course, the danger is that you become attracted too much to the pet. And it's good luck for the pet, maybe, but maybe not so good luck for you. Anyway, that's not necessary to go into here. And since Maharaj didn't have more to say, I shouldn't have said more either. But Vijay Krishna Prabhu has a hand up. Thank you. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes, I have a question, Nikendra Prabhu. May I?
Please go ahead.
Well, in the purport, I see that Srila Prabhupada is saying that the number one non-devotee dog, he goes to the extreme of passing urine on the tulsi plant, which is not different from a pure devotee. So what I need to know, for us to get the blessings of a pure devotee, in terms of approaching him, if what is expected from us is for us to not pass urine on the pure devotee, what kind of approach should we use in order to get his blessings? After all, we're not dogs. We have been blessed with the human form of life. So in other words, my question is, what is the behavior while in the human form of life for us to use whenever we approach a pure devotee for the purpose of getting his blessings?
Pranipatena pariprashnena.
If not passing urine on him like the dogs, what is the behavior?
Pranipatena, to surrender.
Yes, Maharaj, but I don't remember the translation of such a shloka, if you don't mind.
That one should approach the spiritual master with surrender and questions.
Of course, Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So we have some verses now without purports. I'll read some of them. So text 2, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya, Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, Jayadvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhaktivinoda. All glories to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Prabhu and all glories to the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, headed by Srivas. E Malira E Rikshera Akatya Katana, Ebe Shunamukya Shakhara Nama Vivarana. The description of Lord Chaitanya as the gardener and the tree is inconceivable. Now hear with attention about the branches of this tree. Chaitanya Gosanira Yata Parishadachaya Guru Laghu Bhavatanra Nahaya Nishchaya. The associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were many, but none of them should be considered lower or higher. This cannot be ascertained. Maharaj, if at any point you'd like to comment, please do. I was just thinking to read until we got to a purport.
I would like to understand that verse better. You know, no one should be considered lower or higher. If Maharaj cares to expand on it.
Om Jhana Timirandasya Kiranjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manabhistam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Shapadnatika. Devotees should not be judged by material intelligence. Everyone engaged in the service of Krishna is great. Ye bhaje she bhara abhaktahin shar. The Kaviraj Goswami says anyone engaged in the service of Krishna is great, and the non-devotees are miserable and wretched. So we should appreciate all the devotees. Service is absolute. Prabhupada said there's no difference between the person editing back to Godhead and the person cleaning the temple room. From one point of view, the editor is more important, but from the transcendental platform, there's no difference. Not that my service is great and your service is less, or that one devotee is a great devotee and another is a lesser devotee. There may be calculation like that. It may be seen that there are great devotees, and there may be neophyte devotees. But here, Kaviraj Goswami has said elsewhere that he considers himself the lowest. So he's offering respect to all the devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you, Maharaj.
So text 5. Yata yata mahanta kaila tansa barganan keha karibare nare jeshta lagukrama. All the great personalities in the line of Lord Chaitanya enumerated these devotees, but they could not distinguish between the greater and the lesser. Ataiva tan sabare kari namaskar, nama matra kari dosha nalabe amar. I offer my obeisances unto them as a token of respect. I request them not to consider my offenses. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prema Marataro Priyan Shakha Rupan Bhaktaganan Krishna Prema Pala Pradan. I offer my obeisances to all the dear devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the eternal tree of love of Godhead. I offer my respects to all the branches of the tree, the devotees of the Lord, who distribute the fruit of love of Krishna. Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami sets the example of offering obeisances to all the preacher devotees of Lord Chaitanya, without distinction as to higher and lower. Unfortunately, at present there are many foolish, so-called devotees of Lord Chaitanya who make such distinctions. For example, the title Prabhupada is offered to a spiritual master, especially to a distinguished spiritual master, such as Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada, or Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada. When our disciples similarly wanted to address their spiritual master as Prabhupada, some foolish people became envious. Not considering the propaganda work of the Hare Krishna movement, simply because these disciples addressed their spiritual master as Prabhupada, they became so envious that they formed a faction along with other such envious persons, just to minimize the value of the Krishna consciousness movement. To chastise such fools, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami very frankly says, Keha karibare nare jeshta lagu kram. Anyone who is a bona fide preacher of the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must be respectful to the real devotees of Lord Chaitanya. One should not be envious, considering one preacher to be very great and another to be very lowly. This is a material distinction and has no place on the platform of spiritual activities. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami therefore offers equal respect to all the preachers of the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are compared to the branches of the tree. ISKCON is one of these branches, and it should therefore be respected by all sincere devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I had recently read in the Lilamrita, Prabhupada is alluding to an incident here, or maybe several incidents, but there was one time when some of his godbrothers visited him at his place in the temple in Mayapur, and the conversation became quite heated, and it was on this very topic. They objected to him taking the title Prabhupada, and Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, was explaining to them, no, he didn't take the title. This is what his disciples were calling him. But this wasn't satisfactory to his godbrothers. So Prabhupada sent Brahmananda Maharaj immediately to bring him some letterhead, which didn't say Prabhupada anywhere on it, which proved to them, at least for the moment, that he did not call himself Prabhupada. But it was unfortunate, he felt, that such a thing had to even happen in the first place, that they would become hung up on this nomenclature, completely ignoring the fact that this person is preaching all over the world, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta wanted all of his disciples to do. Maharaj, we'd love to hear what you have to say on this, if anything.
I don't think I have anything to add here at the moment.
So, hand up, Tulsi Priya, please go ahead.
Oh, I was just wondering if this objection, it seems to be like a misconception of what the significance of the title is. You know, if let's say you're you're the head of a household and your son gets married and has children, and the children start calling that man father, and the father of that man gets upset because why are you calling him father? I'm the father. You know, it's about the relationship and how the disciples see. It's not it doesn't seem to be like a formal title in the sense of the Queen of England or something like that, that only, there can only be one Queen of England at a time. But it signifies the relationship of the guru to the disciples. Is that a correct way of seeing it, do you think, Maharaj?
Well, that's essentially the argument that Prabhupada interestingly makes two arguments. One is that, well, all the preachers are on the same level. So from that point of view, what's the harm if his disciples want to call him Prabhupada? On the other side, he makes a different argument that this is a title offered to, especially to distinguished preachers, and so essentially it's deserved because the Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world, and the God brothers should appreciate that. So it's interesting to see those two arguments made side by side. Either way, taking either way, they shouldn't complain.
I was just wondering also because Prabhupada received the title of Bhaktivedanta from the Gaudiya Math. And has anyone in the Gaudiya Math ever been called Bhakti Siddhanta after Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, or was that title only reserved for him?
As far as the title, I haven't seen it anywhere else. Of course, we have a godbrother, Bhakti Siddhanta Prabhu, but that's it probably doesn't bear on your point.
Yeah, it's just, but I mean, that is, something like Bhaktivedanta is an official title that's given by the institution, whereas Prabhupada is it's a title of respect from the disciples to the guru. Like they could have called him anything besides Prabhupada. That's, so I guess I'm just trying to understand if it doesn't seem to be an official title, Prabhupada or Guru Pod or any of these other pod names.
Yeah, but you can imagine what it would be like if in ISKCON, some of our preachers started calling themselves Prabhupada. There'd be quite a roar about it.
I guess so.
So the stronger point seems to be that, well, Prabhupada, our Prabhupada, spread the mission of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. That really counts for something.
Thank you.
The fact is that they weren't, in terms of their accomplishments for spreading Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada's position was and is unique. No one has spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement to this global extent before. So the title is deserving.
Quick follow-up, I just thought that if a man owns a business and the business has his name on it, then he may have many sons, but the son who runs the business and carries it on, he gets to keep using the name. So in a similar way, Prabhupada is carrying on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's business and he's using the same name.
Praveen Krishna Prabhu says, in an assembly of devotees, when we do not know the, quote, greater or lesser, what is to be done then? Kaviraj Goswami just asks for forgiveness.
What is to be done? I don't think I understand the context.
Can you clarify that for us, Prabhu? If they come to our place, how to receive them?
Well, all the devotees should be received with great respect. And actually, anyone should be received with great respect. Atiti Devo Bhava. Everyone should be respected on the level of Supreme Personality of Godhead, because everyone is part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Apart from that, the Vaishnavas are particularly representatives of Vishnu, Krishna. So Vaishnavas should be greatly respected. Whether they're big Vaishnavas or small Vaishnavas, they should all be respected.
He clarifies further. He says how to receive them without Maryada Ulangana, since someone is senior and others his junior.
Yeah, it's interesting. Two things are there. One is all the devotees are great. There's no higher and lower. And then on the other hand, Vaishnav culture asks us to respect devotees in different ways according to their seniority or their spiritual advancement. When at the conclusion of the Panihati festival, Raghunath Das Goswami distributed charity, and it was more to the intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his sannyasi associates. And then it went down to sort of a general contribution for everyone. So there is, simultaneously, there's this acknowledgement that all the devotees are great, and yet there's an etiquette to be followed. From one point of view, I won't go past that.
All right, thank you, Maharaj. So, text 8, Tulsi Priya, could you read text 8?
Okay. Well, got a little bit of allergies going on, so let's see if I can get through it. Shivas Pandit Ara Shri Rama Pandita Duishaka Jagate Vidita. The two brothers, Shivas Pandit and Sri Rama Pandit, started two branches that are well known in the world. Purport: in the Gora Ganodesha Dipika 90, Srivas Pandit, Srivas Thakur, is described as an incarnation of Narada Muni, and Sri Rama Pandit, his younger brother, is said to be an incarnation of Parvat Muni, a great friend of Narada's. Srivas Pandit's wife Malini is celebrated as an incarnation of the nurse Ambika, who fed Lord Krishna with her breast milk, and is already noted. His niece Narayani, the mother of Thakur Vrindavan Das, the author of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, was the sister of Ambika in Krishna-lila. We also understand from the description of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat that after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's acceptance of the sannyas order, Srivas Pandit left Navadvip, possibly because of feelings of separation, and domiciled at Kumarahata. I do not have any comment on this. This is above my pay grade, and my voice is a little tweaked right now.
Hare Krishna, thank you for reading. Maharaj, would you care to comment on this? It's very interesting history.
No, I don't have anything to add here. If you do, jump in.
Hare Krishna. Tulsi Priya says something to research. Yes, indeed. Ross Prabhu, would you care to read our text number 9? Is it and 10 and 11, actually?
Hare Krishna, I don't have a quiet space at the moment.
Okay, all right. Preeti Purnamadavi Mataji, are you able to read anything this evening? We have text 9, 10, and 11 coming up here.
I guess Prabhuji, one check you open.
Thank you.
It's chapter 6. I was not keeping track.
Sorry. We are in chapter 10, and and we just read text number 8. Oh, Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay, fine.
If it's too difficult, I can read.
Yes, can you please read? I can read next.
Okay, fine. So
Thank you.
text 9. Shripati Srinidhi Tanra Dui Sahodar Chari Bhaira Dasa Dasi Griha Parikar. Their 2 brothers were named Shripati and Srinidhi. These 4 brothers and their servants and maidservants are considered one big branch. Dui Shakar Upa Shakhaya Tansa Barganan Yanra Grihe Mahaprabhura Sada Sankirtana. There is no counting the sub-branches of these 2 branches. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu held congregational chanting daily at the house of Srivas Pandit. Chari Bhai Savangshekari Chaitanya Raseva Gaura Chandra Vina Nahi Jane Devi Deva. These 4 brothers and their family members fully engaged in the service of Lord Chaitanya. They knew no other god or goddess. Purport. Srila Narottama Das Thakur has said, Anya Devashayanai Tomare Kahinu Bhai E Bhakti Paramakaran. If one wants to become a pure, staunch devotee, one should not take shelter of any of the demigods or goddesses. Foolish. Hare Krishna. Foolish Mayavadis say that worshiping demigods is as good as worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but that is not a fact. This philosophy misleads people to atheism. One who has no idea what God actually is thinks that any form he imagines or any rascal he accepts can be God. This acceptance of cheap gods or incarnations of God is actually atheism. It is to be concluded, therefore, that those who worship demigods or self-proclaimed incarnations of God are all atheists. They have lost their knowledge, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 7:20. Kamais taisthairhrityajnana prapadyantenya devataha. Those whose minds are distorted by material desires surrender unto demigods. Unfortunately, those who do not cultivate Krishna consciousness and who do not properly understand the Vedic knowledge accept any rascal to be an incarnation of God, and they're of the opinion that one can become an incarnation simply by worshiping a demigod. This philosophical hodgepodge exists under the name of the Hindu religion, but the Krishna consciousness movement does not approve of it. Indeed, we strongly condemn it. Such worship of demigods and so-called incarnations of God should never be confused with the pure Krishna consciousness movement. Gaura Chandra Vina Nahi Jane Devi Deva, no other god or goddess. It's interesting that Prabhupada calls that acceptance of demigods as the supreme or cheap so-called self-proclaimed incarnations atheism, because one could argue, well, I accept this guy as God, so I'm not an atheist. But since they're not God, since they're not the supreme, then Prabhupada calls it atheism. I was thinking about this. Well, Tulsi Priya says something good here. When everyone is God, no one is God. That's certainly true. And Prabhupada quotes also 7:20, kamais taisthair hriti jnanaha, that when you have desires that are so strong that they impel you to worship a demigod for the fulfillment of those desires, and these desires, of course, are on the material platform for material name and fame and stuff, or whatever it may be, then what you're doing is not actually worshiping God, or although Krishna says they're doing it, but they're doing it in the wrong way. It's when we approach God with material desires, that's essentially a form of impersonalism, because you're not considering what the Lord himself wants. And when you don't consider what the person themselves wants, then that's another form of atheism. That's putting yourself and your own desires out in front of every other consideration. Whereas bhakti is just the opposite. You ask, what can I do? Like Prabhupada, Maharaj quoted to Vijay Krishna Prabhu earlier, how do you approach the spiritual master? Tadvidi pranipatena, with surrender and with relevant inquiries. And so there's a way to go about worshiping God himself, the actual Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you do that, you're not an atheist, you're a theist. But Prabhupada takes these acceptance of cheap gods, he takes that mentality to task here very, very, very strongly. Maharaj, would you care to speak on some of these points that Prabhupada makes?
Significantly, Prabhupada points out that the Hindu religion gets indulges in this sort of thing, or that this sort of thing goes on in the name of the Hindu religion. So in that way, it becomes a hodgepodge. But the actual principle in Shastra is to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahmarudradi Daivatai Samatvainaiva Viksheta Yapashanti Bhaveju. By sentiment, people accept someone as an incarnation of God, or as being God, and they're impressed because he's worshipping. He's a great devotee of such and such goddess, or what have you. But this is all nonsense, Prabhupada says. Such an incarnation, a person may be accepted. He's seen Kali, he's seen Durga. Prabhupada points out Kali means material energy. He's seen Maya, that's all. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Tulsi Priya says, if you're worshiping someone to achieve your desire, the cherished desire is actually the God you're worshiping. The quote, God is simply a means to your real end. Thank you. And Prabhin Krishna Prabhu says, the people who consider some man as God, I do not see how they achieve any material benefit. The God surely becomes rich. Hare Krishna. Yes, so moving on a bit here. So text 12, Acharya Ratna Namadhare Bhada Eka Shakha, Tanra Parikara Tanra Shakha Upashakha. Another big branch was Acharya Ratna, and his associates were sub-branches. Acharya Ratnera Nama Shri Chandra Shekhar, Yanra Ghare Devi Bhave Nachila Ishvara. Acharya Ratna was also named Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya. In a drama in his house, Lord Chaitanya played the goddess of fortune. Purport. Dramatic performances were enacted during the presence of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the players who took part in such dramas were all pure devotees. No outsiders were allowed. The members of ISKCON should follow this example. Whenever they stage dramatic performances about the lives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Lord Krishna, the players must be pure devotees. Professional players and dramatic actors have no sense of devotional service. Therefore, although they can perform very artistically, there is no life in such performances. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to refer to such an actor as Yatra Dale Narada, which means farcical Narada. Sometimes an actor in a drama plays the part of Narada Muni, although in his private life he is not at all like Narada Muni because he is not a devotee. Such actors are not needed in dramatic performances about the lives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to perform dramas with Advaita Prabhu, Srivas Thakur, and other devotees in the house of Chandrasekhara. The place where Chandrasekhara's house was situated is now known as Vraja Patana. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established the Sri Chaitanya Math at this place. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to accept the renounced order of life, Chandrasekhar Acharya was informed of this by Sri Nityananda Prabhu, and therefore he was present when Lord Chaitanya accepted sannyas from Keshava Bharati in Katwa. It is he who first spread the word in Navadvip of Lord Chaitanya's accepting sannyas. Sri Chandrasekhar Acharya was present during many important incidents in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He therefore forms the second branch of the tree of Lord Chaitanya. Hare Krishna. I was going to ask, as a matter of historical and spiritual interest, Maharaj, that in the early days of ISKCON, I've been reading a lot about Prabhupada's spending time in Los Angeles in the late 60s, where it seemed that these dramatic performances were a regular thing. Almost every Sunday, there was some performance, and Prabhupada encouraged it and liked it very much. And I wonder if you yourself had witnessed this or have some experience of this going on in New York or elsewhere.
Yeah, New York, Boston. It was a regular feature of our centers, not only Los Angeles. We would have sometimes skits, sometimes elaborate dramas. They famously, Rasagya and Loritaksha and other devotees performed the marriage of Rukmini in Prabhupada's presence in Brooklyn. Prabhupada said it was better than the book. And Prabhupada stressed on this point that because they're devotees, their playing will have life. The non-devotees may be professional, but they won't have substance. The dramatic performances are, till now, there's an annual drama festival at Chopati. They rent a local theater, essentially, and they put on for several nights dramatic performances to which great amount of effort is dedicated, and they're exceptional productions. And all devotees. You'll see, leading devotees and other devotees playing various roles, and it's quite something.
Thank you very much for that. Praveen Krishna Prabhu says, previously in Bengal, there would be such nomadic groups performing dramas on Lord Chaitanya. Let's see. Our next verse has a very long purport, actually. So I'm thinking perhaps we can pause here profitably and pick up with text number 14 when we come back, speaking of Pundarik Vidyanidhi, the third big branch of the Chaitanya tree. So if that's all right, we can pause here and have kirtan, maybe perhaps end a little early tonight since we have a long purport to read next time.
And with your permission, I'll check out early also. I've got, anyway, I'm in transit really, so take your early leave. Hare Krishna, glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Maharaj, thank you so much for being with us. I hope you have very safe and otherwise happy travels.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So is there someone who can lead kirtan now? That would be very helpful to end our evening with. I should probably not lead kirtan today, so maybe someone else can lead. Vijay Krishna Prabhu, you're welcome to lead again. Your earlier kirtan was much too short, I think.
Yes, may I begin?
I would think that would be good.
Can you hear my mridanga?
Very well.
Thank you very much. You're most kind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotara Sata Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sekaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mayi Ki Jai. Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you, Vijay Krishna Prabhu, for the kirtan. And thank you, everyone, for your participation, for hearing and participating. And thank you so much. And glad Maharaj could join us for some time. He's got a 7-hour train trip ahead of him. And then he's going to Madrid, Spain next. So his schedule is very heavy in the traveling department. Hopefully we can see him tomorrow, but maybe not. But anyway, hopefully we can see you all, and we'll continue our reading. Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami and friends Ki Jai.
Jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Thank you all again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.